Sorry about that. I thought I had like lipstick on all my teeth, so I had to check. So as I was saying, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I quickly switched out the jewelry and I've got some lunch on the fire, and then I have to go out really quickly and take care of some things. But I promised a second video today. I don't know if I'll get it up today or if it will be tomorrow, but we'll see. And this time I wanted to talk about Trump and Elon because I haven't spoken about them in a really long time. And that's sort of by design, but sort of not. I've been writing about them quite a lot on my Substack, which you can link to in my About Us page, or I think the video that you hear when you come onto my YouTube channel. It should have the link in the Substack, and if it doesn't, I need to check that. So I've been writing about Trump and Elon on my Substack quite a lot, but I haven't really been talking about them too much because I find that those videos tend to get demonetized. I don't know. As soon as I say the word Trump, demonetized. I don't know what's up with that because I do see many channels that's all they talk about, and they really go there, and say things I would never dream of saying, and they seem to be in good business. But if I just say the word, it's like demonetized. So maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe you have to be registered to speak about political things. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I haven't been doing a lot of Trump and Elon videos for that reason. And also, I think the subject matter itself, I find it very, and I'm sure a lot of my Sussex Squad people do as well, very, it's very unpleasant. It's not fun, it's not light, it doesn't make me feel good at the end of the day, and it stresses me, it depresses me, and I just thought, oh my God, I can't live in this world. So I haven't been doing a lot of Trump and Elon YouTube videos, but I heard, I think yesterday, that Trump has finally put Elon Musk into his place. And what that means is that you know how Elon has been going around and just firing everybody and their mother, brother, sister, and uncle. And he's taken a chainsaw to the American government, all of these agencies that were designed to protect American consumers, American people, just closing them down or trying to close them down or firing huge swaths of people from these agencies, like it's like a sport even, and he seemed to be taking tremendous pleasure from putting so many American families out of work. And I hate to say it, but I mean, in a way, if these were mostly quote unquote black people, I would almost kind of understand because he seems to have like a thing with that. But in fact, you know if we adjust for the DEI issue, you find that with the DEI, I mean, you're getting 2%, 5%. If you get 10% of the people who are on the DEI who are actually Black people, it's a lot. 90% are white Americans. And while I don't like to even put it in those terms, because he seems to be someone who is so much about that, you know he's from an apartheid system of government and of thinking, and I think that this has really, it's deeply wired into his DNA, and I think he doesn't even realize it anymore. And apparently his mother, his family was like that. They left Canada to go to South Africa, allegedly because they wanted to be in a system and society more aligned with their views of themselves in relation to others. So if most of the people that he was hurting were black people, I would understand to some extent, because I could just simply say, okay, it's just his hate, it's his apartheid upbringing, um, you know, he's not well, yada yada. But it turns out that most of the people that he's hurting are Americans of European descent, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me, right? I mean, It's like, what are you doing? He really thought that people were going to sit and just be silent about that. I mean, this is a very different thing from, you know, just ruining the lives of quote unquote black people. I mean, people are not going to tumble in the streets as a general rule for that. But once you start talking about people's jobs, their livelihoods, their parents' Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security and all of that, there's going to be pushback. And so it seems that in a lot of town halls, Republican town halls across the country, the Republican candidates were getting really just, booed left and right by Republicans, by MAGA people. I mean, Americans are not, and this is predominantly white Americans. And again, I don't like to distinguish between Americans, but that's the world we live in. There is a distinction that is made by many, especially those in power. Um, so you have white Americans who are pushing back, booing their own representatives in the Congress in these town halls. And it was happening so much that apparently the leadership of the Republican Party basically said, don't do any more town halls because it's making us look bad. But in any event, it has become so overwhelming. I mean, not only the town halls, but the protests in the streets. And to be honest with you, I was like, what is taking Americans so long to? I mean, I live in France, for the moment, and I don't see any scenario where this could be happening in France, and the French people are sitting in their apartments talking about it. There's nothing to talk about. This needs to stop, and it needs to stop immediately, right? If they have to rip, well, anyway, I'm not going to even go there, but they don't play with their protests, the French people. So I was surprised, but it seems like the Americans are finally in the streets all over the country. They're protesting Doge, and in particular, they are protesting Elon Musk. And that's really interesting because even around the world, not just in America, Elon Musk is being protested in Europe, all over Europe. There are all these Germany, France, everywhere. People, they've stopped buying his cars. They're calling his Tesla cars swastika cars. The Tesla stock has plummeted. I mean, it's hell to pay, and it's going to continue to snowball if changes are not made. I mean, it's interesting that this isn't about Trump at the moment. It's all about the fact that they hate Elon, they want him out. He's making everybody nervous. And then he sends out these emails threatening these federal workers, putting their hearts on fire that if you don't respond to tell Elon 5 things that you did last week that were productive for the government, you're going to be fired or you're terminated. And so you had all these heads of the cabinets. I mean, I know you know this all already, you guys, um, pushing back and saying to their underlings that you don't have to respond to Elon's email, which I thought looked really bad. But then Elon went to Trump, and Trump came out and seemed to back up Elon. But apparently that's changed because they've had a cabinet meeting, you guys, if my understanding is correct. And Trump basically told the cabinet heads, while Elon was in the room, that the cabinet heads are in charge of their own departments, not Elon, right? Because I think they see the political fallout. It's getting more and more worrisome for them. For Trump, for JD Vance after Trump, if Trump leaves office. I mean, I'm not fully convinced that Trump will leave office. I think there's going to be, anyway, that's a different video, but um, the bottom line is, it seems like Trump has finally put Elon Musk in his place. Trump has said to Elon Musk in front of all the cabinet heads that the cabinet heads are the deciding, personnel. They decide who's fired, who's hired, etc. So I guess the subtext is, stop sending out your ridiculous emails, putting everybody's heart on fire, stressing out the workforce. This is counterproductive. It's inefficient, right? And Doge is supposed to be about efficiency. And apparently, the cabinet heads are telling Trump and Trump's that woman, what is her name? Wiles, Susie Wiles, and these people that Elon's behavior is basically making them inefficient, which is a very interesting paradox. Listen, I mean, I have copped to it. I used to like Elon Musk. I used to admire him. I mean, when I say like him, I admired him from afar for all of what seemed like his genius, especially with Neuralink, because my dad had lost his vision, and I was so hopeful before my dad died that there would be this breakthrough. But I've come to understand that, Neuralink, people don't even like Neuralink. I mean, they're worried that Elon wants to put a chip in people's heads and I guess turn us all into robots or whatever. So, I have to sort of be careful with that. But I would say that Elon is the one, the reason I no longer respect him is because of his behavior and what seems to be his worldview. The last thing I heard was that he wants Trump to pardon the guy that killed George Floyd. I mean, I think when I heard that, and I think I heard that this morning or yesterday morning. My days start to merge after a while. I don't know what day is up, what's going on. But when I heard